Alright, so if you're going to get Wishender in Destiny 2 Lightfall, in order to get this exotic, you do need to own the Forsaken DLC. And you are going to want to go to the quest archive in the tower or the helm, either one. And you want to approach this, and under exotics, you're going to see the Wishender quest in here. I've already done it, so it won't be here for me. But you will see the statue. It will literally say Wishender quest when you go to pick it up. And if you maybe have Forsaken and you don't see the quest in here, you might have already presented your Talisman while doing a Shattered Throne run, because sometimes it is Pinnacle. So you might have been in there and interacted with the statue, and you'll have the 3 Dreaming tokens possibly, which I'll pop up on the screen. And I'm going to say, once you do start the quest, the first thing we got to do is go into the Shattered Throne dungeon, and we want to talk to the statue that is in there, which basically means we need to go in the Shattered Throne and do the first 2 or 3 encounters. It's right after the Ogre encounter. It's not super hard to do as a solo player, but if you do need any help, I do live stream help pretty much daily for Wishender as well as other exotics. Kick.com/Triggs, that's TRIIGZ. If you need any help like that, come on by the stream. I'll gladly help you out. So we're going to get right into the video. I'm not going to try to waste your time. So I'm going to go over the whole dungeon up to the statue, because you have to get to that statue 2 different times. One time to present the talisman, as well as one other time to do your tokens. So starting off in the dungeon, this opening encounter is kind of a little bit of a pain. It's not really challenging, it's just a little time consuming. So what we're going to do is we're going to be killing these little mini bosses that are on each symbol. If you don't know this room at all, it is a little confusing, so I'll put a little map on the corner of the screen right now. Maybe that will help you get to each symbol, as well as getting your way through this opening encounter of the dungeon, because it can be a little hard to find your way around the first time you come in here. But just know you do need to get to every symbol in this dungeon on this opening encounter to get to the next step. And the order of the symbols is random. However, how you can tell which one you're going to be going to next. So when I kill this first architect, which I'll show you. I also haven't played Destiny in over a week. I just got back from vacation, so I figured I'd come back to making a video how to get this. So we kill this architect, we kill the other enemies that are nearby, and we get the dragon symbol. So we're gonna go to our next symbol. And what this video, this style video is gonna be, is basically you can follow this video along as you do the quest, and I'm just gonna be doing the whole thing with you. So we're gonna go to the next symbol. Kill this architect. I'm gonna use my Riptide. This dude will teleport like crazy, as you can see. He's always doing that. Just keep killing these acolytes. Once the last one's dead, it spawns in the next symbol, which is actually pretty close. It's gonna be right over there. But it's not really, as you can see, all that hard. It's just a little time consuming, and if you are struggling, don't try to, if you want to do it solo, that's totally okay. But if you are struggling on this and you need any help, seriously, don't hesitate to ask. I've done this a little over 1,000 times at this point, so. I also save a lot of the checkpoints to make this quest take about 10 minutes to when you join me for help, so I like to make it nice and easy, because this is one of the best exotics in the game right now, so you definitely want to get your hands on it. So we kill less enemies once again, and the next symbol spawns. What we're gonna do, go to the fish symbol. So as you can see, I gotta go to each symbol once, kill the boss, kill all the enemies there. The next symbol will spawn in. It's a pretty easy concept, but if you've never been in this dungeon before, like I said, it can be a little confusing on where to go. Also feels really weird to play right now. Pop a little healing nade. Use our Riptide. I love Chill Clip. I am using Solar Titan for this. It's like my favorite to use on this dungeon, but if you're playing Hunter, Void is always good with your Falcons or the 6 Coyote. Those are really good Void exotics to use while you are doing this as a solo player, or just in general with a team. If you're on Warlock, Roller Radiance with Starfire is obviously completely busted right now, so definitely use that if you're on Warlock. However, if you want to run like a Devour build, on Void, which you don't even really need right now with how good Starfire is anyway. We're just gonna keep killing the enemies. Pretty repetitive. You need to pop your super, that's fine. There isn't really a DPS phase until the Ogre part, so right now we're just clearing ads. Gonna go to the next symbol. Funnel web, or any really void weapons this season, just put in absolute work. And this boss does go invis sometimes, so if you don't see him, he's probably just invis. Just look for that little white glow. An enemy hiding over here. Alright, 6-9 fish. On this symbol, I always pop my super, only because this boss has like a weird bug where it will like randomly teleport you. Like, he does his swing and it like sends you completely off the map. So I always try to keep my distance a little bit and kill him as quick as possible. That way, because if you do die on any of these symbols, you have to start from the beginning again, and starting at the beginning is not fun. So that symbol right there means that we are done with the opening encounter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run back to where we came in from. There's gonna be one final boss right here, and take your time on this last boss, because if you die, like I said, you gotta start from the beginning, and you don't want to have to do all those symbols again. And there's that opening encounter. It doesn't take too long. It takes like, if you know your way, it could take like 5 minutes, but if you don't know your way, it's gonna take you a little longer. Alright, so for this next part, I had to actually slow myself down because I was kind of just cruising through it without saying anything. So if you're on your hunter, invis is good for this, because on this walk of shame, what you're gonna see once we climb these stairs, there's gonna be a long just hallway of knights that are gonna shoot fire at you, phalanxes are gonna try to boop you off the map, snipers are gonna pretty much get your health down to 0 very quick. So you want to just invis your way through. Throwing fusing grenades at enemies to give your health back on Warlock is really good, or you can take your time and kill all the enemies with like a sniper rifle or a scout rifle. Do whatever you have to do to get past this room, which is coming up. So in order to open that door, we have to kill this yellow bar enemy here. Here's the room I'm talking about. So as you can see, the hobgoblins, phalanxes, the taken knights are shooting fire at you. Doesn't look fun at all. So what I like to do when I'm on Titan is get a quick hammer kill as I throw it across the map. Or if you're on Hunter, finish an enemy, go that way you get a little bit of invis. Give yourself some leeway. And since I'm on Titan, I can just run across. But I'm gonna go this way, so you don't have to kill all the enemies in here. It does get pretty intense. There goes the hammer anyway. I'm just gonna jump across here. And we'll pop our super. Just try to make our way down this hallway. Doesn't look fun. I can tell you from doing it so many times, you'll just randomly get lasered by everything. But we also have a healing grenade on Titan, which is nice. And we make it past that room. If you struggle on that room, take your time, kill all those enemies. It makes it way easier. And this next room is going to be the Ogre room. So we're going to try to just run past these. These blights will spawn in. It is random, so it could spawn on that side or that side. And these ogres are going to be deadly. So you want to make sure you kill those. Otherwise, this will happen. I'm just trying to show you. Normally, I just fly past all these, but make sure we kill those ogres. As we progress, more ogres are going to spawn in. So I just like to fly right at him. Lament. Don't recommend doing that. I just can't throw a hammer today either. The other one's gonna spawn in that corner, so we're gonna make this left. And if you do fall off the map, this is why I say take your time on killing those ogres, because if you do fall off the map here before you make it to the next room, it will start you at the beginning of that walk of shame room. So you have to do all that, killing the enemy to open the door, and then that whole running encounter over again, which, trust me, can get irritating. I have to do that all over again. So once we get to this thrall room right here, we're just gonna keep running. You are not gonna be able to use like your sprint. You can jump, but you can't use like your jump ability. I think if you're on Warlock, you can use your Icarus dash, and you can dodge if you're on Hunter. Like, you can use your grenade and your melee and everything, but you can't sprint or double jump or anything. And since Strand is out, if you want to skip all this and you're running Strand, you can actually just swing across to the other side instead of running all the way around. And you want to make sure you get some ammo in here, because the next encounter we are going to be doing is going to involve a DPS phase. So we're going to want to make sure we have all the ammo that we need in order to kill that ogre. We're just going to keep running. We're almost there. Once we make this left, you can see, once we jump down, we get our abilities back. There we go. And we're going to keep running. So we have to make it all the way up there. And I don't recommend trying to, like, just run straight through this. Like, going that way, because that will do damage to you. So just be careful when you run on this outside, because these blights on the walls will boop you off the map. As well as the phalanxes that are here. They'll try to, once again, boop you off the map as well. And if all that wasn't, you know, all that booping on that, and if all those things trying to boop you off the map wasn't enough, well, lucky you. There's going to be a million phalanxes up here. So what I always do is I just kind of hug this wall. You just make a run for it, alright? And it usually works. Sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part, usually end up living. So how this next room works, there's going to be a wizard in the spawn area here. There's going to be one to the left, one straight ahead, and one to the right. What that does when we kill them is it's going to drop a buff called Petitioner's Mark. You need to kill all 4 wizards to get Petitioner's Burden. And what that does is it allows us to dunk in one of these dishes here in order to damage this ogre. Because as you can see, we can't damage him right now. However, we have this wizard that's going to spawn in right in front of us. As you can see, when we kill it, it has that buff, Petitioner's Mark. It's on a 45-second timer, so we have 45 seconds to kill that next wizard, as well as to get the buff that it drops. So when we kill it, see that buff right there, we just walk through it. We don't have to interact with it or pick anything up. Just be careful, because these wizards will randomly just fire at you full auto with the ogre shooting you as well, which can get annoying. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill these enemies here, kill the wizard, and then we're gonna be doing damage. So I recommend using Lament for damage phase. However, whatever you have, if you don't have anything good, just try to do what you can with what you have. Normally you can one phase him solo pretty easy, but it all just depends. 2 phase really isn't that big of a deal. And as you can see, Lament does the trick. And what that allows us to do is, after we kill that ogre, this is going to be that, remember that statue I was talking about? So this is going to give us 3 dreaming tokens when we interact with it. So the quest does say step 1 of 1, present Talisman to Awoken Warrior, but that is not the only step of the quest. What happens is when you interact, you go right up close to this statue. When you interact with it, it's going to give you the 3 dreaming tokens, and they're going to appear in your quest tabs. You want to make sure you have room in your quest. So I have 10 out of 63, so I'd have enough room to give me my 3 dreaming tokens. So you need to have at least 3 free slots in your quest and bounty tab. So make sure you do have that. And once you get the quest in your quest tab, that's when we're going to have to go back into the dungeon and cleanse them. So if you are up here and you aren't able to present the talisman, it means you might have the character bug, which what you need to do is either delete the quest and pick it back up, if it even lets you delete the quest. Sometimes it doesn't. Or you just need to change characters, pick the quest again up from the quest archive, come back to this statue, present your talisman, and that will give you the tokens. That's like the best workaround. I've had that bug happen pretty often when doing help. And if you do need any help, once again, I will gladly get it done. It will take us like 10 minutes, so save your time if you want. And for the next step, what we're going to do is we actually have to go back to the beginning of the dungeon. So we're going to load back in with our 3 tokens. However, this time we're going to reset our checkpoint. And now what we have to do is the same exact thing that we just did. However, as we're doing it, there's going to be these tokens that we're going to cleanse. This is what I'm going to show you how to do. So the first one is going to be right at the opening encounter of the dungeon. And for the sake of saving time on the video and not, making it super long, I'm not going to show myself doing all of the dungeon, like the opening encounter over again, as well as, the other stuff, just because you know how to do it now. And I'm just going to show you the token steps, just so that way you can do it yourself. You don't want to listen to me talk the whole time while I'm just killing ads anyway. So for the first token, what we're going to do is once we get in to the room, the first thing we want to do is kill that boss right there, get our symbol, and then go right to the token. If you finish this encounter before you cleanse your token, it isn't going to work. It's going to bug out and you can't do that token. So make sure the token is your priority. Don't go to the other symbols or anything before you do this first token. Otherwise, you have to do that whole opening encounter again, which, like I said, gets frustrating. So I'm trying to make this as least frustrating as possible with explaining all the bugs and everything that I've encountered. So just like we did before, we'll kill this enemy, as well as the acolytes. You want to save your ammo because we are going to be killing a couple mini bosses, just 2 of them in this room. I also am the worst at throwing a hammer. I don't know what's going on. We kill him. We have our symbol. And what we'll do, we're going to jump up onto this tree, which this can be a little challenging, so make sure you got your stompies on or whatever you use on whatever character you're on for your movement. And we're just going to jump on top of this. Then we'll jump up here. Pretty simple. If it takes a little bit, that's fine, don't worry. So this is the token I was talking about, so we pick it up. Want to jump on this statue. However, if you fall off of this, normally we could just jump across. However, if you fall, you can just jump down here and then jump across here and then just jump up. So if you fall, it's not the end of the world. Also, don't do like your aiming or like shooting button, because that will throw this token. You can melee with it and that will make you go a little faster, but don't use any of your keybinds that make you aim down your sights or shoot your gun. And once we deposit that, it's gonna spawn in these 2 invisible like minotaur bosses that we just have to kill really quickly. The dreaming token of Querim is gonna change into the waking token of Querim. So the dreaming tokens are gonna be turned into waking tokens. So we're gonna know that we're done with the tokens once all 3 of our tokens say waking token. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the rest of this opening encounter, and then I'm going to continue the video right at that Ogre room, because that's going to be where the next token is. Okay, so for the dreaming token of Eriviks, what we're going to do is once we get in this Ogre room where we have those blights and little like balancing beam like platforms. You want to kill all the ogres first, which I already did just to save time for the video. And the first token for this Eriviks one, which there are 2 different tokens that we're gonna have to do. So we pick the first relic up and go to the right. And since we killed all the ogres, those aren't going to be an issue. If you don't kill the ogres, you can try to do it that way. However, just know the ogres are going to be shooting you while you're running this orb, and they'll probably push you off the map. So make sure you do your best to kill those ogres. You don't have to kill all of them, but the ones that are going to try to shoot you at the beginning there, while you're running this, you want to make sure you get those out of the way. So we deposit that first. We deposit that first orb right there, and now we got to go do the second one. We're gonna run this way. Let's jump across. And just know that if you die during any of this next token, until we get the waking version of it, you do have to do all of this again, starting from that back token that we just did. So when we get in this room, this is that thrall room where we're slowed. We're gonna pick this next token up right here. And it kind of sucks that if you die, like, on this little mini boss that we have to kill once we're done with this, you do have to make your way back up and do it all again. But if you aren't able to make the climb back up to this little room, which I'll show you after, just in case you die, you never know. I even die sometimes just randomly being an idiot. So with Strain, it makes it a lot easier now to get back up here. So after we deposit this dish, I'll show you. So once we jump down, there's going to be another statue that we deposit this on. And what depositing that does is it actually opens that door, which is going to be a mini boss in here, which will complete the second token, the Dreaming token of Eriviks. So what you do to get back up there if you do end up dying, just jump on that little platform, jump up there, and you can strand yourself back up. Pretty easy with strand. However, if you have Salvation's Grip, you can also shoot your way back up with that and climb and go do those tokens over again. If you aren't able to do that, you do have to start that dungeon all the way from the beginning again, unless you have a friend that can help you do it. It is a pain, so once again, another pretty frustrating step if you do end up dying until we kill this boss. Once you kill that boss, if you die at any point after that, that's totally fine. But I can't stress it enough. Make sure you don't die in this little room. And what this room is going to be, it's going to spawn in a bunch of scions as well as the mini boss once we kill enough of those scions. And these don't look like they do a lot of damage, but trust me, they will melt your health pretty quick. How many are in here? So what I like to do usually is pop my super. There's a decent amount of them. And after we kill enough, that boss is going to spawn in. There he is, Eriviks. And once we kill him, you will see the Awaken token of Eriviks, which means that we are done with the first 2 tokens, and now the last token that we need to do is going to be in that final Ogre room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that next token, and which gender will be yours. Okay, so now for the final Ogre room, we're going to do the same thing that we did in order to start damage phase for that Ogre. However, instead of killing that Ogre right away, you see that blight in the back right corner of the room? That little area over there, I'm going to run over there and show you once we get to the all 4 petitioners marks that we need to get. But that back blight in that back right corner of the room is the one that's going to be the most important. So you can kind of see it, that little circle. So that invisible minotaur is going to spawn in once we deposit our petitioner's burden in any 4 of the dishes, which you want to deposit in a dish that I'm going to show you because it makes it so that minotaur is going to be really easy to find. A lot of people say that they have a hard time finding that minotaur, as well as thinking that it's bugged. But I've done this so many times, and I haven't run into a bug with him not spawning in, ever. So I think a lot of people just don't look in the right spot, which it can be pretty confusing in here. I'll try to show a little better, because in the past videos people were saying that it wasn't a little clear. So once we kill that third wizard, this back light right here, so the invisible minotaur is going to jump out of here once we deposit, and it's going to run right up here and hang out in this vicinity. He doesn't really go much further than that, so I'll show you how exactly that works. So we kill this last wizard, which I can't throw a hammer to save my life, which I want to make sure I have this. Timer's getting a little low too. There we go. We get Petitioner's Burden. So we watch that back right of the room. We deposit in the closest one, and as you can see, he jumps right out. We'll shoot these behind us and kill him. And what killing him does is that will spawn in this final relic. So we have the Dreaming Token of Xavoth right now, and I'm gonna deposit right in this one over to the left, and Xavoth will spawn in once we deposit there. And you want to make sure you kill him as quick as possible. Try to get it before all the other enemies spawn in. And once you kill Xavoth, you will get the Dreaming Token. Or once you kill Xavoth, you will get the Waking Token of Xavoth, not the Dreaming Token. And if you die at any part now, all of your Dreaming Tokens are done. They're now Waking Tokens, so that's okay. You can fail as many times on this boss now as you want. And what we'll do is, I'm not going to show the rest of this. I'm going to show what you do once you kill this ogre here. Okay, so upon killing the ogre, what we're going to do is the final step, which is just to interact with this statue. So you want to make sure you get up nice and close, because we don't have all three Waking Tokens. If you have one of the Dreaming Tokens still, it means that you did one of those steps wrong, unfortunately. So what you'd have to do is turn that Dreaming Token into a Waking Token, which is how I showed before. And then you can talk to this statue and pick up Wishender. You want to get up nice and close right here. If you see like 2 orbs glowing right here, that has nothing to do with it. Don't even worry about that. Just get up nice and close, get your Wishender, and that's going to be it for the video. So I try to keep it as in-depth as possible, as well as keeping the video pretty short. So let me know if you need any help for Wishender. Once again, kick.com/Triggs. I will be helping out anyone that needs Wishender. Like I said, I really don't mind doing it. I also save all the checkpoints to where it will take us. Only about 10 minutes compared to however long it would take you solo. So that's going to be it for the video. If it did help, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one, alright? Peace.